Welcome to Coding with bcbrian. In this clip, we're going to go over the utilization of CSS frameworks to help us style and make our apps and websites look better quicker for prototyping. So it'll take away a little bit of that authentic, unique feel that you might have generated for yourself, but just to help you get a quicker, more consistent, and user experience proven feel up and running. And then once you know that you've got things worked out, then you can start tweaking it and making it more your own. The one that we're going to use primarily is called Bootstrap, and it's made by Twitter. So I'm going to search for Twitter Bootstrap 3 because that's their current version that's production safe. They have another one that's an alpha called Bootstrap 4, and it is coming real soon. I'm using it in a couple of projects, and it's a little bit nicer and a little bit more fun. But we're just going to use this one because it's proven and it's safe. There's no hidden things. So on their website, they have a couple of sections. We're going to start with the Get Started. They have an option to download it right off their page, but if we go to Get Started, it'll show us, do you want to download it? Do you want to source it? Do you want to port it from other types of CSS languages called less or Sass? And then they have these options for CDN. And so they have the styles that we need. They have it set up for giving us an optional theme. And then they have the JavaScript that's needed for functionality. So we're going to copy just this styling portion first, because that's all I really want us to use right now. We'll go back to our plunker, and in the head, before our style sheet, so let's just put a space in here, and we can add a comment and say scripts. So that's how you add a comment in HTML. This is how you open the comment. This is how you close it. In this editor, if I just write what I want, we'll say styles. And if I highlight it and hit command / or control /, it will comment it out for us. So just after styles, I'm going to paste it. And as you can see, it's nothing really all that different from what we've had. So we have a link, we have the relational type, and then we have the ref, the source of the Bootstrap. And so someone else is hosting it for us on their server, and we're referencing their file, their CSS file. And this is a minified CSS file, so if you were to look at it, it would all be scrunched up in one line and not look like ours where it's broken out and easy to read. And that's okay, because we're not too worried about being able to read it and edit it. We would use our style sheet to override things that we don't like. Now it's changed some of the look of our stuff, and that's okay. That's because they have their own styling and rules. One thing you'll notice right away is that they changed our font and gave us a better looking font. They have predefined classes and for us to use for our styling. So they have a container class which helps put stuff into a nice container for us, and they would prefer that was, or they tell us that we should use that as a top one. So when we go div class equals container, and we'll cut that one, move it all the way down to the bottom, and tab those over. Now if we go to our style sheets, we did have a definition of what a container was, and we're overriding that. So we're going to get rid of that and not override what a container does. The next thing that they would ask us to do, since we're trying to do things in parallel, if we go back to Bootstrap and go to their CSS, they have a grid system, and they explain it here. They default to 12 columns, and you can overwrite that if you want. And the way it works is you define that things are going to be in a row, and then you define how big the column is. And so these are columns of being a size 1, so there's 12 of them. Here's a column 8 and a 4. Here's some 4s stacked together. Here's a 6. You could do 4 3s. There's also the ability to control it based on the viewport size. So what size is the screen that the user's looking at? Is it a medium size or is it an extra small size? And so if we were to shrink and play with our window, we would see these change to single columns, a single column rather than multiple columns as we got to these smaller sizes or these larger sizes, just kind of depending on how you play with those. So what we're going to do is do a, next is a row. So now we're going to add a row because our stuff is kind of in a row format with 2 columns. Oops, this is a div, not a class. A div with class. And we'll cut that one out, take it to the bottom, and we'll tab all of these ones in. And then this container left should be a column. So we'll say, we'll give it a call. We'll first say medium, and we want it to be a 6 because we want it to be half the page. And then we'll do that there as well. Now you'll see what's happened is that this is smaller than a medium, so they're stacked. But if I were to move it, if I can get that, there we go. Now we're as big as a medium, and so now they're a column. So obviously, let's not have them be stacked unless it's extra small, as in a mobile device size. So now we'd have to get pretty small for them to be, oh, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Let's just do small. There we go. So we don't have to be super big now for it to trigger. Maybe? Interesting. You'll notice that our input and our buttons got changed a little bit, and Bootstrap has some very beautiful inputs and button definitions. So now that we're in CSS, we can come to forms and see, to make an input look nice, it just needs a class form control on it. And that will make it look a little bit better. So I'm going to come in here and do that there. And now it looks a little bit nicer and it's bigger. Buttons, they have some great button options with colors, and it has a button class with a button type name. So this is their default primary, success, info, warning, and danger. So we're going to grab the primary for the creation. and we'll grab the success for the role. And then I don't like how there's not a space here in between these. So there's a div that I can add. Sorry, let's go back over here. There's a div I can add that helps with spacing there. So if I go back to forms, they have this form group. So I'm going to copy that form group and put it above this input and above the button and close that. And with that being closed, should get a little bit of a space there, which I'm seeing, so that's good. And everything should still be functional. It just looks a little bit nicer, has nice padding and coloring. And that's just a real quick intro to Bootstrap. If we do heads just to verify, add, and tails, add, and roll. There we go. So still works. And really quickly, I just saved myself from having to think about styling. And I can just use Bootstrap to generate the styles for me. Just by looking through their documentation, there are lots of options. So feel free to look at them and utilize them. Yeah, so that's it for styling and using a CSS framework to get things going quicker. Good luck coding.